She stood at the airport gate, tears streaming down her face, watching his plane disappear into the clouds. In that moment, Maya believed she had lost him forever. But what she didn't know was that sometimes the universe has other plans. Sometimes when two souls are truly meant to be together, no distance, no obstacle, no challenge is strong enough to keep them apart. This is the story of Maya and Arjun, and if you believe in the power of true connection, stay with us until the very end, because what happens next will restore your faith in destiny. And if this story touches your heart, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring tales of love and hope. Maya had always been a dreamer. Growing up in a small coastal town, she spent her childhood watching ships sail away to distant lands, wondering what adventures awaited beyond the horizon. Her parents ran a modest bookstore, and between the pages of countless novels, Maya learned that life was full of possibilities. She was 24 when she decided to pursue her master's degree in marine biology, a decision that would take her far from home but closer to her dreams. Arjun was different, practical, grounded, and fiercely dedicated to his family's textile business in the city. He had never been one to chase dreams or believe in fate. For him, life was about responsibility, hard work, and meeting expectations. His parents had raised him to be dependable, and he wore that badge with quiet pride. At 26, he had his life mapped out, a clear path that left little room for surprises or detours. Their worlds collided on a rainy Tuesday evening at a community art exhibition. Maya had come to see her friend's photography display, while Arjun was there reluctantly, accompanying his younger sister who was showcasing her paintings. They literally bumped into each other near a striking photograph of a lighthouse standing alone against a stormy sea. Maya's coffee spilled, Arjun's shirt got stained, and in the chaos of apologies and napkins, their eyes met. There was something inexplicable in that moment. Maya saw kindness in his eyes, a gentleness that contradicted his formal appearance. Arjun saw a spark in her, an aliveness that made the world around them seem duller by comparison. They talked for hours that night, long after the exhibition had closed and the gallery staff were waiting for them to leave. They discovered they were both afraid of different things. Maya feared mediocrity and a life unlived. Arjun feared disappointing the people who depended on him and losing the security he had built. Over the next 3 months, they became inseparable. Maya showed Arjun what it meant to live in the moment, to find joy in small things like midnight, ice cream runs, and dancing in the rain. Arjun gave Maya something she hadn't realized she needed, stability and someone who truly listened. He made her feel seen in a way no one ever had. They balanced each other perfectly, her spontaneity softening his rigidity, his steadiness grounding her restlessness. But life had other plans. Maya received an acceptance letter from a prestigious research program in Australia. It was everything she had worked for, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to study coral reef restoration under renowned scientists. The program would last 3 years, possibly longer. When she told Arjun, his face fell, but he smiled through it, telling her how proud he was, how she had to go, how this was her dream. She saw the pain he was trying to hide, and it broke something inside her. They spent their last weeks together trying to memorize each moment, every laugh, every touch, every quiet morning. Arjun wanted to ask her to stay, but couldn't bear to be the one who clipped her wings. Maya wanted to give it all up, but knew she would resent him later if she did. Neither knew how to bridge the impossible gap between love and ambition, between staying and going. The day she left was gray and heavy with unsaid words. At the airport, Arjun held her close and whispered that he loved her, that he would wait, that distance meant nothing. But Maya, through her tears, told him not to wait, that it wasn't fair to either of them. She kissed him one last time and walked through security without looking back because she knew if she did, she would never leave. Arjun stood there long after her flight departed, his heart shattered into pieces he didn't know how to put back together. The first few months were torture. They texted sporadically awkward messages that danced around what they really wanted to say. Maya threw herself into her research, working 16-hour days to avoid the emptiness that consumed her during quiet moments. She made friends, explored beautiful coastlines, and achieved professional milestones, but nothing filled the Arjun-shaped hole in her life. Arjun buried himself in work too, expanding the family business, taking on more responsibilities, anything to stop thinking about her. His family noticed he had changed. The light in his eyes had dimmed. By the 6th month, their communication had dwindled to nothing. It hurt too much, this constant reminder of what they had lost. Maya convinced herself it was for the best, that they were living the lives they were meant to live. Arjun dated someone his parents introduced him to, a perfectly nice woman who couldn't understand why he always seemed distracted, why he never seemed fully present. Both tried to move forward, but neither could shake the feeling that they had left a part of themselves behind. Then, a year and a half after Maya left, Arjun's father had a serious heart attack. The family business, the responsibilities, everything Arjun had built his identity around suddenly felt meaningless. Sitting in that hospital waiting room, watching his mother pray, Arjun had a realization that knocked the breath out of him. He had spent his entire life doing what was expected, being who others needed him to be, and in the process, he had let the only thing that truly mattered slip away. His father survived the surgery, and in the recovery room, weak but alive, he told Arjun something that would change everything. He said that he had built the business to give his family a good life, but that none of it mattered if Arjun wasn't happy, and he could see that his son hadn't been truly happy in a very long time. That night, Arjun made a decision. He called Maya. She was underwater when her phone rang, diving near the Great Barrier Reef, documenting coral bleaching patterns. When she surfaced and saw his name on her screen, her heart stopped. They talked for 4 hours, saying all the things they should have said at the airport. Maya told him about the loneliness that had become her constant companion, about how every sunset made her think of him. Arjun confessed that he had been living half a life, that success meant nothing without her to share it with. They both cried, they both apologized, and they both admitted what they had known all along, that what they had was rare and precious and worth fighting for. But knowing it and doing something about it were two different things. Maya still had 18 months left in her program. Arjun still had obligations to his family and business. The practical obstacles remained insurmountable, yet something had shifted. They decided to try again, really try, not with the expectation of perfection, but with commitment to honesty. They video called every day, sometimes just to have breakfast together across time zones. They sent each other care packages, random gifts that said, "I'm thinking of you." They planned visits, and every reunion felt like coming home. Arjun started making changes in his life. He brought in a manager for the business, delegated responsibilities, and created space for himself to breathe. He started painting again, something he had loved as a teenager but abandoned for practicality. His family, seeing him come alive again, supported his transformation. Maya, inspired by his courage, started being more open about her own vulnerabilities with him. She admitted her fears about the future, about whether her career would always come first, about whether she was capable of the kind of commitment he deserved. The turning point came during Maya's 2nd year in Australia. She was offered a permanent research position, exactly what she had always wanted, but accepting it meant staying indefinitely, building a life on the other side of the world. This time, she didn't make the decision alone. She talked to Arjun for days, weighing every option, considering every possibility. And then Arjun said something that changed the game. He told her he would come to Australia. He could open a branch of the business there, or start something new, or figure it out as he went. What mattered was being together. Maya was stunned. This man who valued security above everything was willing to uproot his entire life for her. But she realized something important. True love wasn't about one person sacrificing everything. It was about both people choosing each other, meeting in the middle, creating something new together. She turned down the permanent position, and proposed an alternative. She would complete her current program, then return home to establish a marine conservation initiative in their coastal region. It would be challenging, uncertain, and require building something from scratch, but it would be theirs. Their shared dream, their shared risk, their shared future. 6 months later, Maya returned home. Arjun was waiting at the same airport where they had said goodbye 2.5 years earlier. This time, there were no tears of sadness, only joy. This time, she ran to him without hesitation. This time, they both knew they had fought for something real and won. They got married on the beach near her childhood home, surrounded by family and friends who had watched their love story unfold. During his vows, Arjun said that Maya had taught him that the greatest risk in life was not taking any risks at all. Maya said that Arjun had shown her that roots don't restrict you, they give you the foundation to grow taller. Together, they launched their conservation project, combining his business acumen with her scientific expertise. It was hard work, there were setbacks and challenges, but they faced everything as a team. Years later, standing on that same beach, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink, Maya often thought about that rainy Tuesday when they first met. She thought about the airport goodbye that felt like an ending but was actually a beginning. She thought about all the ways they could have given up but chose not to. Because when two people are truly meant for each other, they find a way. Not because it's easy, but because they decide again and again that the other person is worth the effort, worth the sacrifice, worth the leap of faith. Their story wasn't about perfect timing or lucky circumstances. It was about two imperfect people who refused to let go, who grew and changed and fought for their connection. It was about understanding that love isn't just a feeling, it's a choice you make every single day. And sometimes the universe does conspire to bring soulmates together, but only if they're willing to meet it halfway, to be brave enough to believe that what they have is worth any challenge, any distance, any obstacle that stands in their way. If this story reminded you that true love is worth fighting for, that distance and time cannot separate souls meant to be together, then hit that like button below. Subscribe to our channel for more stories that celebrate the resilience of the human heart and the power of never giving up on the people who matter most. Because somewhere in the world, someone is fighting to find their way back to you just as you're fighting to find your way back to them. And when you finally meet in the middle, you'll know it was all worth it.